Welcome to another episode of DIOTALK. I'm Dia. Let's talk. I would like to welcome my guest of the evening. You already know he's the normal guest. Give a warm welcome to Nick Espinosa. Welcome to the show, bro. How you doing?
What's good, bro? It's been a while. How's everything?
Yes. It's been quite some time. Yes.
Yeah, finally getting some winter weather. I'm actually hyped about that.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Just a little bit, not too hyped, but yeah, I'm a little bit hyped about it. I enjoy cold weather, but when it gets frigid, I'm like, all right, bro, chill out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to get over this cold I have, man. It's been kicking my ass. I've been down for like a week.
Mm-hmm.
And now I got the kids in school, so like, they come home and they come home sick and just spread it everywhere.
Nah, that's true. One of the kids in my daughter's school had COVID, and they sent the email alert out and to alert the parents and stuff. But even it's funny how they do it because they try not to tell you who the individual is, but they have to
Mm-hmm.
tell you that there was an outbreak. And then the kids, they ain't stupid. They're gonna look around and be like, "All right, is it a boy, a girl that ain't been here for like a day or two?" And then and they be like, "Oh, you had COVID." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's saying
They
because
do the
it's
blaming game
supposed to
too.
protect the privacy, but it really doesn't.
Yeah, like in the house, like I got one had COVID, one had the flu, the other one had strep throat. So it's like a combination.
Man, it's like a Mortal Kombat combo, bro.
Word, bro, word. And it was we all were down. Like it was we all we all were down. And
Well, I'm
I'm just
glad
trying to
Coach is feeling better because we may make certain jokes on COVID, but overall, it's still no joke. People have
Mhm.
died from it. People have their lives have altered from COVID overall. So
Yeah.
not like a joke. I'm glad y'all pulling through and everything. Um, so this was interesting. I've been seeing Will Smith, right? The Emancipation movie he did.
Yes. I haven't I saw the like the poster.
Mm-hmm. So
But are they still boycotting him like his films since the slap?
uh, I don't think so. I mean, the slap is over and done with. I mean, the shit's still funny to me, but I mean, I still think he was wrong in that situation because you already know we spoke on this before, so I'm not gonna go in
Hmm.
detail about that again. But he was just wrong. It could have been handled way better than that,
Hmm.
especially at a big moment. You're getting this and that, but also you're not just representing yourself. You represent Black folks too.
Hmm.
That's what a lot of people seem to don't realize and forget about. But two things. A guy was talking about how Hollywood. Well, first of all, I'm gonna get my joke out about the Emancipation movie. They said, yeah, they would not emancipate me, and then I saw, and immediately I said, well, Jada emancipated your ass, like, like the asshole Emmy. That was my immediate comeback because I'm like, I'm still disgusted by it. Like, I'm a huge like Will Smith is still my favorite actor. Period, hands down. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, and you can be my favorite actor, favorite model, whatever. But your personal life things that is known, if I don't agree with it, I don't care. I talk shit about it all the time. You still be my favorite. You still ain't shit. But that was that joke though. It was funny. I was like, yeah, well, Jada did. I had a couple people laughing at work. It's like, yo, Nick, something wrong. Just nah, it's just funny. But in all seriousness, it was a great movie though. Will Smith did his thing. always amazing actor. But person, I was reading online. This person, he brought up this conversation. He said it seems like Hollywood keeps pushing these slavery movies out, right?
Mm.
And he said, he looks at it as a constant reminder of, that black people is always going to be nothing but niggas. That's it. And I can understand where he's coming from that because you see these slave movies and stuff like that, but I actually look at it as not that way. I look at it as okay, Hollywood pushes these slave movies. Why? Because they are profitable. Hollywood's about money
Mm-hmm.
now. At the end of the day, before back then, yeah, they wanted because black folks were really going to white places looking at movies and stuff like that, whatever. And of course, they was back then racist white folks were talking mad shit about black people, saying, "Oh, they're none but coons and watermelon eating this and all this other, all that racist bullshit." Right? But my whole thing is that I explained, I engaged in conversation with the guy online. I said, "Well, I see it more as money." I said, 12 Years a Slave, it's a good movie. It's a fucked up movie, but
Mm-hmm.
it was a good movie. The acting was on point. The story was on point. It was beautiful. People cried about it, and if I'm not mistaken, it did do well in the box office. So any
Yeah,
movie that goes,
it was a really
yeah,
deep movie.
yeah, it's a deep movie. I believe an award was won for it. I don't know, but people want to go watch the movie. So ever since that movie, it's been profitable. Then you had the Django. That was a profitable movie. Certain things was profitable. So Black is profitable. And I had to break it down to him. I said, well, if you look at, I said, how about you look at it from a different perspective? I said, okay, you look at it as a constant reminder that we're supposed to be in shackles like we were, chains and stuff around our neck and all. We're supposed to be nothing but low degraded pieces of shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said, I don't look at it that way. I said, at one point, you got to look at Hollywood when you put a black person in a film. They would put a white dude or get some other dude and put blackface on. That's the truth. That's everybody knows that. Hollywood is no saint. Hollywood has its darkness, and it still has its darkness today. So, and I told him, I said, look at it this. Instead of looking at it as bad, look at it as a reminder of how far we've come. As far as like, yo, okay, yeah, that was our ancestors there, slave and chains and horrible shit happening to us left and right that was never documented. You know what I'm saying? Never documented. I said that's why a lot of people sometimes tend to overlook slavery because yes, it's documented, but it's not filmed. If slavery was filmed right now, like how it was back then and everything, like really how it was, if y'all saw their actions and like they really filmed it and documented,
Mm-hmm.
people would be very fucking mortified. They would be like, oh my God, is that and third. But I told her, I said, look at it that, and how about you take what you see there, teach your kids about our ancestors, what happened to them, their struggle, their fight, and everything else, so you could prepare them for a better present and a better future down the line. You know, I said because I said, that's the way I see it. I can't, I said, I told you, I said, I'm not trying to say I disagree with you, but I feel like you're kind of like one of them people that's doing this for a reach. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes on particular topics, people, they'll say something just for like a whole reach. They reach out to it. You know what I mean? And it's really not lining up with what they're really trying to say. It's just like for views, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're trying to stir the pot.
Stir the pot, right? Stir the pot, and I'm just like, bro, I don't think it was like that. I'm not saying Hollywood ain't fucked up because Hollywood is fucked up, but I honestly believe that you should look at it in a different way. Like, yo, you should show your kids this movie. You should show your kids and teach them, like, yo, this is what our people want through for us to be here. If they didn't go through that, wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be here right now. I know
Mm-hmm.
that for a fact. You dig what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I had to, and me and the boy, we went back and forth a little bit, but then he, he's like, he sat back, thought about it. He's like, yo, bro, I get what you're saying. He's like, yeah. I said, I'm really not trying to disagree with your point, but what I'm arguing is that, yeah, you're making a point because that point is valid for other movies or other categories and things like that when it comes to black folks. But I said, I really don't think it sits well with this right here because I'm like, this is something we can actually pull and learn from
Mm-hmm.
and teach our kids. You know what I'm saying? Teach them like, yo, yo, our folks really went through that shit. You know what I mean? We wouldn't be able to be sitting here. We probably, if they didn't survive that shit and you know what I mean, we probably wouldn't be here right now, most likely. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And we agreed to it and everything, and it was just insane because I was like, it almost turned into an argument, but it didn't. And I was more appreciative of the fact that we was able to have just a regular conversation without saying, "Oh man, F you or Uncle Tom or you this or you that," because normally when you disagree with somebody, all the cans of worms come out. You're this, you're that, and it's insane. It's just insane. So I mean, I think that's something very notable, and I wanted to speak on that because I was just like, I said, man. So yeah, great time to tell you that was insane, but overall, it was a good conversation to have with an individual.
Yeah, very, very, very important topic. I think sometimes within the black community, there's a lot of beliefs that separate one another, and most often they'll tend to talk about it in a sense. And I think those are incredible, healthy conversations, done right, right, and like in where one shares their piece and the other person share their piece to try and find one another's understanding rather than have a debate and trying to see who's right or wrong.
Like, yeah, it was a healthy debate, and it was just his understanding versus my understanding, and we came to an agreement, and we was like, I get what you're saying, and I get what you're saying. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate the conversation. You made me think about it a little more. And I said same here. You made me think a little bit more too.
Yeah, bless you,
Excuse me.
bless you. Yes, right now Hollywood, it's on fire. It's a lot of things going on in Hollywood that our fellow at this point I don't even know what to call him. Kanye is really um, speaking out on, right? Because he's saying a lot, which sound insane, but then you give it time, and time shows what he's saying is reality.
Thank you. I'm glad you see that because I was
Yeah,
about to say that because like,
and
do
right
I
now,
agree
yeah.
with some of the shit he said? Hell no. Some of the shit I'm like,
No, I think,
bro,
but
whoa.
you know what it is? He's coming at like the issue with Diddy. He's coming at people like with dirty laundry, like some petty shit. Um,
I don't like Diddy.
yeah,
I
yeah. He,
don't
he's
like Diddy.
he's
I
saying
don't
things
I don't like
that
Diddy at all.
he's saying things he shouldn't. He's being petty in a lot of things.
Yeah,
Things that
and
you partook at one point and you shared a moment. Those are petty, dirty laundry shit that no one should be saying. But a lot of things like right now, uh, in my opinion, right there's a hidden war now caused by this by Kanye, where uh, there's a how do I say this? There's a war between blacks and Jews.
yeah, it's and that war has been brewing for the longest.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been brewing for the longest because as they say, blacks are one of the tribes of the Israelites tribes, right? Um, I'm not as well versed in it, but I heard a few things. And well, I had my run in with Israelites. I'm not gonna lie. Me and a couple Israelites got into a brawl in Center City before cameras was really a thing because they were just
Mm-hmm.
yelling at sensitives at me, and I'm looking at them like, bro, I'm just trying to go home. Yeah, I don't want to hear your shit. Like, dog, just got off work. I want to go home. Da 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 da. Then they just talking shit, and I swung on a dude, and I'm fighting like two, three dudes on my own.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and the thing is, truth be told, I agree with Israelites to a certain extent, and like I think it's true. Um, and the reason why I say that is because like anytime you speak on Jews in general, and even when you say Jews, it kind of sounds racist or discriminatory. It really
And,
does.
but Jew, it's a religion.
It's a religion.
It's a religion
It's
that
whatever.
that
Like it's multiple things. It's more than one. And some Jews can't even describe it sometimes, and that's a known fact. Even most known rabbis and this, that, and third, and if you look it up on certain YouTube clips and media outlets that had interviews with certain people, some people couldn't even explain it. Like, yeah, it's this, it's that, whatever. And like, there's so many things that's tied to it. They said the Jews are the devil's people,
Mhm.
and they're the devil's choice at one. It's a guy out there. I believe we shared it in a group message about a book that was destroyed about a guy that exposed the Jews and how they have the banks and this, that, and the third. And he was a Jew himself exposing them. So, if, and the thing is, I would say this for Jewish people out there, if there are some truths that need to be set straight, and if it ain't like, I'm not saying it is or it ain't, but if it is truths that need to be told, then y'all need to figure it out and say it. Don't cover it up anymore. You know what I'm saying? That's if I'm not accusing, saying this, that, and third, but that is if that is true. Because the thing about, you look at it, whenever you speak on Jews, it's just like, oh no, don't say that, the Holocaust and this, that, and third. Don't say, but anybody can speak freely on slavery. Anybody can free. They like, oh well, they were enslaved. Like, yeah, well, slavery was everywhere. Okay, but black folks that were taken from Africa was brought over here to suffer in chains and this, that, and third for 400 years. And even up until what, 1964, 1974, whatever, I forget the exact date, they weren't even able to vote. Like, we had to get legislation passed just to
And
fucking
that's
be
that
able to
that's
vote.
I think that's the problem right there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the problem. I think when you talk about these two respective races, uh, quickly bringing up slavery and quickly bringing up the Holocaust, and I think if you want to have a discussion or you want to go to war, if you want to have a debate on whatever the fuck it is, I think anybody or everybody should leave those two things aside
Yeah, and
because
it's
that's not a
it's hard to
conversation.
have that conversation without mentioning them,
Yeah,
because truth be told, here's the about Holocaust and slavery. To be honest with you, there are two horrific things. One was filmed, one wasn't. And trust me, Hitler's folks, I fuck yo that when I saw the documentary what happened to Jewish people, especially children, like it broke my heart, and I saw it at a young age.
mm-hmm.
And when I read about what happened to, our ancestors that were enslaved here in America, it broke my heart. Like, I had to envision that, and we saw what they was doing to Jews. They was just like, nah, we
It's a
don't
it's a
want
it's
to
a
slave y'all.
petty
We want to just kill
it's
y'all
a
and trick
it's
y'all into
a
showers and burn y'all.
it's a petty conversation. It's a petty conversation. I was
Yeah,
watching this clip on Instagram. This gentleman from the Nation of Islam is like, we don't take nothing. We don't have nothing against you, against Jewish people, but then he's like, but you weren't there when we were suffering and enslaved, and like it bothers me because it becomes a pettiness. It's like on who suffered more and who was there. Like it shouldn't be that way. Yeah, I think
Well,
those are two things that
yeah, and that's
should never happen, and that's not a topic to discuss regarding what race is better.
yeah. And see, and this is where I say this. Yeah, no amount of pain is better than another person's not of pain because we may say me and you both been enslaved, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were both slaves, and you got over it, and I did, right?
Mm-hmm.
You be like, you gotta get over, you gotta get over, you gotta move on from it, you gotta let it go, da da da. But the thing is, yes, you were able to because it affected you that way, but you don't know how deeply it affected me
Mm-hmm.
to the point that it's like it's hard to let it go, it's hard to get over it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like you can't measure the amount of pain, no matter if it's the same infliction or not, what it does to a person. Some people have the mental to let it go. Some people don't have the mental because it's that traumatizing. And you know, if you ever seen people if you ever met people that dealt with depression and suicidal thoughts and everything like that, you will understand that. And you know, like I tell people all the time, that at the end of the day, the only way we get a real solution from all this is to acknowledge that there is a problem. And anytime that someone wants to acknowledge the problem, for example, Kyrie Irving, I think the media, owners, Shaquille O'Neal, Charles Barkley, fuck y'all. Y'all did him dirty. Y'all talking smack about that man from doing nothing but sharing stuff. I said, that's it. And speaking his piece. And then journalists trying to trip him up and his words and what he's saying. I said, yo, he's not actually saying anything bad. He just spoke his opinion. I said, now look, I'm a fan of Donald Trump, certain things, because like his shit always had me cracking up. But Donald Trump has said some shit that if it was Kyrie Irving saying it, y'all be looking at him like, yo, you can't say that. You shouldn't be saying that, this, and the third. But no one really condemned Trump. They just let it go on. So there is an issue and it needs to be addressed. But see, and it's like they pick and choose when you want to address it versus when you don't want to address it. So, like, I personally, I stand with Kyrie Irving. I stand with Kanye West to a certain extent. I don't agree with everything he's saying, but I know what he's talking about. I know what Kanye is talking about. I'm sitting there ignoring the rhetoric bullshit, just like I did with Donald Trump, with certain things he said. It made it sound harsh. But when you take the bias, the racist rhetoric out of certain sentiments that he has said, you'll sit there and realize like he's right. If you take them emotions out. You know, that's the one thing you have to realize. In order to have a real conversation about the hardest thing or the elephant in the room, you have to take your emotional bias out. You have to be in a 100% neutral position. So you'll fully understand what is being said.
You have to have mental clarity.
Yeah, you need that mental clarity in order to understand what is the issue.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because there is an issue, and it's still an issue to this day. I mean, hey, did we get further in line ahead of life? Yes, but there are still issues today that are constantly ignored to the point that it's a boiling point, and it's going to be crazy stuff happening sooner rather than later because of the simple fact people overall are tired of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like me, I know. I'm proud. Look, I love this country. Like they said in Blackish that episode. I love this country even when it didn't love me back. Still love this country, right? And that is true facts about Black folks in this country. They love this country, served in wars for this country, even though love was not given back. You went over to Fort Wars, they came back to more racism. And nigga, out of you ain't serving my military, you served in an all Negro thing. Like these are real facts. Like these, you can't even argue that because it's it's true. So I we have to sit down and actually acknowledge the truths. Like people argue about where people came from, where life began, and this, that, and third, and this, that, and third. People still think Jesus was white, and in the Christian Bible, he doesn't even describe him as white. To this day, people still don't know that Jesus is painted in the image of a gay lover. Da Vinci, I think it's Da Vinci, if I'm not mistaken, Da Vinci's gay lover. That is not Jesus. Not that is nowhere near looking like Jesus. But yet, all around the world, everybody says that's Jesus. Even in the Bible, as it describes it, that is not no fucking Jesus. That is a gay dude. That's the gay dude that painted his gay lover in an image of Jesus because he was fucking that guy so good he thought he was fucking Jesus. Okay, like, and I don't care whoever gets offended by it. I'm sorry. I'm a 100% raw person. I would say anything to your fucking face and tell you the truth on how I feel about it. And truth be told, I had an opportunity with acting, right? I signed a NDA before we even discussed any whatever they discussed.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted me to play a gay character, which I wasn't going to do. Hey, all right. I had an opportunity in the show, but I can't say it because at an NDA, bazi bazi. But Hollywood is on some real gay shit.
Yeah.
Hollywood's on some real gay shit, and I could have been on a show that could have won somewhere, but they wanted me to be gay. I'm like, I'm not gay. I don't got no issue with gay folks, lesbian folks, or anything like that. I don't care about that. But I'm not playing a gay guy. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't discuss, like, really say this, that, and third about it. Can't say the name, da da da. I read the whole thing. All right, well, fuck it. Okay, whatever. But kind of finally, after I read more of it, I was just like, oh, no. See y'all later. I won't speak on it, but see y'all later. That shit that people be saying as well. So, like I said, I'll tell you this. If you don't think what Kanye is saying is real, look up owners of the banks. See where they're tied to. See where their origins go to. All these claims, if you're just an individual that's confused about what this man is saying, look up the banks. Look up history, these origins of where these particular banks go, and this, that, and third. Look at the banks that fund wars and everything else. And there are banks that fund wars too. Okay, so look all that up. And then when you hear Kanye West say a certain thing besides his racist rhetoric, things that he said, you'll be like, he's not lying. You know what I'm saying? He's not lying. He's not lying about certain things. I'm not saying he's 100% correct, but there are things that you like. If you actually sit back and look at it and look it up, and you're like, yo, he's really telling the truth.
It's ending to that topic. Like I said before, and I stand by this. If you know, if you want to have a conversation between the Jews or the blacks, I think leave Holocaust and slavery behind. Don't because it becomes a petty conversation on who suffered more.
No, and I agree with that. You
And
want to
I
know something funny though?
and I think that you would think because of suffering we could understand one another, and that can help us grow and have a better relationship because we have certain understanding.
Right. Now, here you go. I'll give you a good example. Minister Farrakhan, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't listen to the guy all the time, but he has spoken valid facts. Some things I didn't truly understand, or some things I probably didn't agree with before with certain things. But one thing he said that he spoke out and it made a lot of sense. And when he was speaking to Jewish people, he said you think he said he said you think us black folks didn't weep for y'all when y'all went through y'all tragedy, y'all horrible tragedy. He said we don't excuse that. He said we weep. He said we weep for y'all, but we still going through this shit. Who's weeping for us? And that spoke a lot of volumes right there
Mm-hmm.
because he said basically, yeah, I know we said take the Holocaust out and this and that, but he said I acknowledged all y'all pain. I wept for y'all, but y'all not acknowledging our pain at all. So it's like, and like in a way, like
No, that actually makes perfect sense because they're not he's not
he's not saying
debating
like
on
this
who did
didn't
worse.
happen.
You're saying that we wept for you, but like the difference that passed. We know that, what we're going through, we're still going through in 2023.
Exactly.
See,
And
that's a different
that's the
conversation.
whole thing.
That's a
And that was his point. We still
mm-hmm,
going through this shit.
which is facts.
And his whole thing is he said, I'm not saying this and that, but at least acknowledge the shit I'm still going through. I acknowledge the shit
Mm-hmm,
you're going through. But acknowledge what we're still going through. We're still
mm-hmm,
going through this shit to this day.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't shit perfect, but we're better off than we were yesterday, of course, 100%. But we are still going through shit and fighting through hurdles that a lot of folks don't have to fight. And you could argue with this, you could argue with that, but until you put yourself in the black or brown person's skin and you walk down the street and you walk to an all white neighborhood and tell me you're not gonna get pulled over if you were just a salesman or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Tell
That's
me
a different conversation.
different conversation, but acknowledge the shit that black folks, brown folks still gotta go through. We still gotta go through hurdles. And like and the one thing I like what he said we are not putting y'all pain to the side. But like the moment we speak to y'all about certain things, that's the first offense that Jewish folks will go to,
Mm-hmm.
and that's proven. And I done seen it multiple times in conversations that we had in high school growing up, and even college, pre-college courses and things like that. Like that would be always the first offense, you know,
What would be the first offense?
the Holocaust.
Oh, okay. So they'll
And
you're trying to say they'll directly go.
yeah, they're directly go, well,
Yeah.
my
Okay.
people, this,
Yeah.
that, and third. We like, we know that. We
And
all know
this
that.
is why, like I say, like it's
Like,
better
and I'm
not.
not saying that
It
every
becomes a
Jewish person
debate.
does it.
It becomes a debate at the end of the day whether you
It
choose,
goes into a whole debate. At
and
the end
it
of the
shouldn't be
day,
like that.
it shouldn't be like that. At the end of the day, like I tell people this, there's something special about black folks. There's something special about black people. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because if it wasn't nothing special about us, we wouldn't be going through the shit we're going through. Like if you look at it throughout history, and I tell people this all the time, if you look at history, American history on slavery, and how it is now for black folks back then up until now, you look at everything we went through, every positive thing we did got hit with something negative. Or the government made this rule because of this. And then third, like segregated schools and this, that, and third. And now they wanted to desegregate them because black schools were doing better than the white schools. Like, and that's a proven fact too. You can look that up. So the whole thing is something special about black folks, and I honestly think that this system is designed to keep black folks down. Only allow a selected few out, but keep the rest down. And our history proves what I just said. If you look at it, if it was nothing wrong with us, why would we be enslaved? If it's nothing wrong with us, as far as like we can't be this, we can't be that, why we had to fight to be able to vote? You know what I mean?
For some type of equality.
Yeah, like or yeah, for some type of equality. What are y'all so scared of black folks being on the same level as you? If it's not an issue, we wouldn't have went through the shit we want. If it's not an issue, we wouldn't have went through the shit. At the end of the day, we wouldn't have had to go through a crack epidemic. We wouldn't have had to go through redlining homes and stuff, whereas though blacks are only limited to this area. They can never buy a house in this area here or here. We wouldn't have had to go through that. You know what I'm saying? To this day, if a black person is selling a home, this has been proven on social media, news outlets, and all that.
Why is
Your
it?
home is
Why is it the
rightfully for being black
conversation?
owned.
Why is it always why is it the always? And I ask you this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it always the conversation black and whites? What happens with people like me who identify as Latino? We ain't shit.
No, you ain't
That,
shit, man. No, you ain't shit. No,
that's like
I'm joking, but no. See, but the thing is, so I know that it was just perfect timing to say that. Like that's
like no, you ain't
no.
shit.
But see, the thing is, hold on, bro. Look, I'm black and Latino.
But you identify as black.
No, I identify as both. I no, for real, for real. I identify as a human motherfucking being.
Preach,
Okay, I
baby,
am a
preach.
man. I am a man, and I am a human being. The race shit, I really don't give a fuck about. Like, look, at the end of the day, I believe race does separate us, but at the end of the day, it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Like, you gotta identify this, you gotta identify that. Like, to some, like you already know. To some folks, I'm Puerto Rican. To some folks, I'm black. At the end of the day, I'm a mixed biracial product of two people that fell in love and popped me the fuck out. At the end of the day, so it don't matter. Now, when it comes to Latinos, see the thing. See, here's the issue with Latinos. There are Latinos that identify with black folks. That means they rock what I'm saying, rock with black folks, 100%, stay on 100%. But then there are Latinos that be like, yo, we don't fuck with y'all. We not black. Like Dominicans say they ain't black, and this, that, and the third, and then all that shit. Like, yo, we not black. They push themselves away. So when you ask that question, you gotta ask the Latinos why they separate themselves away from blacks. But at the end of the day, regardless of how you look at it, if we do the DNA, this ancestry, and everything else, we all started somewhere over there. Our lineage is shared.
I don't think. See, and that's the thing that's confusing. I don't think it's because you're black. I think it's because of the culture,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because that could easily be construed in like you live in the hood and you busted your ass to get a banging job or uplift your business, and you move to a nice neighborhood, and you say, "Hey, Nick's from the hood," and you're like, "Nope, I'm not from the hood. I'm right here. I'm here where I want to be. This is where I'm from. I worked my ass to be here."
See, dumb people right there, the people that do that, the other people I say fuck you, 100%. Because at the end of the day, even if I became a millionaire or I'm more successful, I ain't never gonna forget where I come from. I was born and raised in North Philadelphia in the hood. Had to fight my way out that shit, but I ain't never gonna forget where I come from. The people that forget where they come from, they the real suckers in life.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't. And then when shit go bad, that's when they remember where they come from.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, when shit going good, you still need to remember where you come from, who you are. Because where you came from is how you got to be who you are at the end of the day, no matter how you look. If I didn't have no fights in my hood, the hood I grew up in and everything like that in North Philly, dog, I wouldn't be me right now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That shit molded me in good ways. To be prepared for what's next. Life is not easy at all. It ain't supposed to be all peaches and cream and picking white fences in there. It's not. It's not. It's never going to be like that. Okay, unless you're born into the super rich, super rich, super rich, and you don't even have any contact with the public. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But people like that, they forget where they come from. I'm not one of them people. Yeah, I moved out of the hood. I live in, suburb type area, and I'm okay with that. I'm happy with that, right? I don't forget where I come from. They be like, "You from around here?" I said, "No, I'm from Philly. Anywhere I go, I tell anybody I'm from Philly. I'm from North. I'm a North nigga, like straight up. I don't care where I'm at. I don't like. Look, the interview I just dude asked, and he said, "Oh man, you out here in Dallas, such and such." I'm like, "Yeah, I ain't from there. That's where I live now." He said, "Oh, well, where are you from?" I said, "I'm from Philly, North, straight North Philly." And I'm proud of it. At the end of the day, I'm proud of it because that's still where I came from. I still had great memories. Even though I had some bad ones, some licks and bruises and stuff like that. Baby mama drama shit, whatever, all that shit. But at the end of the day, I don't forget where I come from. I know where I come from. I rock where I come from, but regardless of what, when you deny where you come from, you don't know who you are as an individual, whether you're a man or a woman. Something seriously wrong with you. You just trying to fit in. You are not allowing yourself to be you. If you gotta fake it like that, to forget who you are, forget your family and this, that, and third, you no good to nobody to me. So, and the thing is, now see, here's the thing too. See, there's a nice majority of Latinos and blacks that all rock each other, right? But then there's, the other ones who like, nah, bro. Like, nah, I don't know them. Like, it's like, what I'm saying? So it's like,
Yeah,
I
but
get,
I think that's in every culture.
yeah,
You
right.
got that's in every culture. You got in every culture. There's the racist, there's the asshole, there's the good one, there's the one
There's
who
the good
doesn't
ones
fuck
and the
with
bad
nobody, the
ones.
one who fucks with them or just with them. The other
You
one that's
know,
sociable. I think that's and every culture will find that.
yeah.
But
So
here in America, there's no room for us. There's no room for people like me. There's only room for black and whites.
nah. I think you got to do some digging. There's a lot of them, bro.
Nah,
Just you got to look. You got to
nah,
look and see.
nah.
You
Because
got
when
to
you
look and
go,
see.
no, if you go through social media, that's the argument. That's the argument. There's no
But see,
room. No,
see,
no. If anything, we
mhm.
just come here. We just come here and take your jobs, right? If anything, right? Because we're all the same.
No, but then if that's the case,
Took your
nah,
dad.
bro. Nah, I don't see it that way. At the end of the day, I really don't. Because me growing up, like, bro, besides me growing up in North Philly, I grew up in part of Kensington too. And in Kensington, before it really got heavily drug infested, this is back in 2000, 2001. Like, dog, it was like almost every fucking race in there. They got along. They rocked with each other. It was black, white, Haitians, Jamaican, fucking Puerto Rican, Dominicans. My boy Jose was Dominican. My boy Luis was Puerto Rican. Like, well, no beef, no nothing. Like, we all was in the same hood. All was in the same hood. So I really don't see that like you're saying, because then like if that's the case, even though I think she's okay, she's okay. I think she could do better with certain things she say, because sometimes I think her head is in her ass. Alexandria Cortez, I think. What's that? I think she's a senator or representative. Alexandria Cortez, I believe so. Like, you give her for example, she's in there and she doing her thing. Some things I don't agree with, because sometimes she trips up off of. She reminds me of one of the people that you're too smart for your own self, and sometimes when you're just too smart, you sound like a dumbass. And sometimes she do, but otherwise than that, she's still doing a good job. She's fighting a fight not just for white, black, but Spanish, Latino. Bro, you see. Here's the thing. I honestly believe you're looking at just what the media puts out.
For the who?
The media is controlled,
No,
but
but yeah,
if
yeah,
you really
yeah.
look into it, we're all in this together at the end of the day.
But that,
Even
but,
for
but but
even
that's
for
the
white
problem
folks.
right there. You just solved the problem. The media.
Yeah.
The media. It's a war between black and whites, and for people like me, like I'm sorry, I'm not your average Latino. I didn't grow up in the hood over here. My upbringing was very much immigrant mentality. It's
Hmm.
different, you know.
Oh, yeah, of course, because you came from a different background. See, and so what you have to do, which is good, and like I said, like I tell people all the time, it's nothing wrong with what you're saying, because you're basically like you're saying this because this is what you feel, this is what you see, but also you owe it to yourself to do a little more digging, a little more research, look up movements.
But
Look up
that's the
movements.
problem. That's the problem. That's the
Like
problem
if
right
you look
there. You
up
see,
California, if you look up
people like
California,
myself,
mm-hmm.
people like myself, and this is where I'm constantly getting misconstrued and judged. Like you don't you sometimes you don't have to go digging and do your research and whatnot because people like to do that shit all the time. Say that shit all the time. Do your research. Do your what you see what sometimes it's just right there in front of you.
No, that is true.
Like, a lot of times I call it like I see it. Sometimes I say a lot of shit and time will give me the answer.
Yeah, like there was a movement in California a while back, and it was the Chicano movement and everything. There was Latinos and everything, but a lot of people forget about that. I mean, I know about it because I pay attention to it. I forget what the group was called, but similar to Black Panthers almost. Uh, but I watched the documentary slash movie on it. I ain't gonna lie, I was going there like this: Chicano, 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 Chicano. That's the I'm talking about. Like, see, I put it to you like this: do research on certain things for better understanding, right? But also, it doesn't hurt to speak your mind because at the end of the day, whether people perceive it as right or wrong, someone's going to be out there and they're going to sit there and talk to you, and be like, "Hey, I get what you're saying. So can I say this to you, and can I say that to you? Can we just sit here and have a conversation, exchange, and da 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 da." Like, you see, I mean, we had a whole conversation. If I had this conversation with someone else that I didn't even know, I'm pretty sure everything I said would have turned into a big ass argument. Probably somebody would have tried to swing or I would have, because just when I'm swinging, I'm never the person to swing first unless you got to try to hit me or attempt to hit me. But you know, so that's the way I look at it. But at the end of the day, blacks and Latinos are together. It's just certain particular Latino groups like to separate themselves. That's like you already know the Dominican and Puerto Rican thing. Dog, they think they better than one another. Okay, like like we know that. Look, dog, you've been I've been in Puerto Rico a couple times. You lived in Puerto Rico. I know you heard the stereotypes. Oh man, fuck those damn Dominicans on that island over there. And then the Cubans over there, and like all this shit talking to like. And at the end of the day, y'all speaking the same fucking language.
No, no.
But
I never growing up I never had that experience. If anything,
oh, you never heard? Oh man, well then I don't.
no, because I didn't, in Puerto Rico where I'm from, or at least where I grew up, like we would help Dominicans. Dominicans used to come in boats, and the migra, like the
Mm,
migra, the version over there, used to hunt them down, send them back to their to their country.
mm,
Like for us, they were brothers that needed help, and that's the thing that trickles me, right? It's
mm,
only it's only until I moved here back in Puerto Rico. You era negro. I'm
mm.
black. In Puerto Rico, I'm black. Negro. We
Yeah,
talk and we treat everybody the same. Oh, you're negro. That means we love you. That means you got respect. But then I came here and
totally
I sta-
different thing.
I started living the culture, and with I started living within the culture, and I see all these Mexican shit.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, I'm not saying, it was only one to like I remember the first time I got called a spick. I looked at that person, I like shook my head, I was like, whatever, bro. And I kept it walking. I didn't know what it fucking meant. I didn't
Ah,
care.
ah.
I didn't care.
Mm. Well, you want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
First time I got called a spick, I knocked the dude the fuck out because I know what it meant, and I know it was the right. It's basically like how they say nigger and shit as a racial term is basically the same thing, and towards Latinos. So, and like I said before, folks be like, "Yo, he's Rican." Some folks would be like, "Yeah, he Rican." No, he a mixed breed. No one ever really said I'm fully black.
Mm-hmm.
No one. My own cousins, and this is fact, and I put money on this. My own cousins be like, "No, my cousin Rican." They never acknowledged me as black, even though they know my pop
Mm-hmm.
was black and they know
Mm-hmm.
my mom was Puerto Rican. They never acknowledged me as black, and that's 100%. Like, and so yeah, it's like I said, it's deep and it's issues on every side of it. You know what I'm saying? And that's why you just you have to. Like I said, I always did more research to get a full understanding of certain things because I'm like certain things I never agree with, I never liked. I said when I was younger, before my skin tone like really settled in, I was lighter than this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I used to be called a cracker, and I went to an
Damn.
all black
That's
school.
a that's a
That's a fucking insult, right?
that's like a jump.
Right.
Like,
I used to be called a cracker, and I went to an all black school, and they would call me a cracker because I was so light. But my whole thing is, I'm like, am I white? Like, and I'm younger at the time, so I'm like, I don't know.
you
I'm
like that.
still, I'm
You like
still, I'm
that
younger, and I'm like, I'm
oh my
younger.
god.
I'm still learning the world and everything like that. So I'm like, I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, am I don't know. You know what I mean? I asked
Mm-hmm.
my mom. I said, Mom, am I a cracker? Am I white? He said, who said it? She said, I said, some of the kids, they keep calling me a cracker because I'm like the lightest thing in that school. I went to all black school. Like everybody was either brown skin or dark skin.
Yeah.
I was lighter than a brown skin person, like really lighter at one point. And if I had a picture right now, I'll show you like, yo, look, this is me.
Yeah. Yeah,
And so
man. And
it's just like and my mom always told me. See, one thing is my mom never tolerated racial terms or racism. Man. She hates that to the core. Um, and she said no. She said that's just how some parents raise their kids to learn certain things. And this is before social media, and you can see all this stuff and the research and other. Back then, growing up, before we had all these access to technology and stuff like that, for a kid to know that, you had to learn that from home. You get what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
And so for them to know them terms and the associate with me with that term, because I was lighter than this,
Mm-hmm.
is beyond me. You know what I'm saying? And then I never been fully acknowledged as black. Like
And
I
that's
was, I was always a
you know
hybrid.
what, and that's the thing, right? Like I moved over here. I worked for numerous multicultural people, black, white, red, sometimes purple,
I'm an alien, bro.
right? And what set me aside from them is like, I didn't care. I came to do what I gotta do, clock out. There's a lot of injustice in America. But
Yeah,
it's no different. It's no different than what I grew up with. I grew up at, right? Like, doesn't matter what color you are, you're still gonna some shit can happen to you, and sometimes a lot of people very common like to judge me because I'm not in it. My world doesn't revolve around you know black or white or just it doesn't. It's like watching the news, right? It's like one of the reasons I stopped watching news because it's just everything's predictable. Well, what did I miss today? They kill somebody? They rob somebody?
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
in it. And then yet
Uh,
again, they were like, do your research, get your home read. How? When everything's manipulated. When uh Thomas Edison was white. No, he was black. No, no, he's Latino. Like every day, like when did opinions become truth and reality? So I'm living in a world and where I'm constantly being judged and like I need to do my research. I need to do this and that. But like, what is the fucking truth? Everything is a conspiracy.
yeah. Okay, I get what you're saying, and but also, so when I say do your research, you know what's bullshit and
Yeah,
what
yeah, yeah. But that's a
you
different
dig.
conversation, you
You dig
see?
what I'm saying? You know what's
Yeah,
bullshit. You can tell bullshit from
yeah,
the right shit. So when
yeah,
I say do your research, yes, do your research and look.
yeah,
You tell me what you be like, yo, that's bullshit right there.
yeah, yeah.
This shit is factual.
But I'm speaking
You dig what I'm saying?
I'm speaking like in general, right? In general, because me and you know personal, right? Try to
Mm-hmm.
speak in general. So you know what bullshit is bullshit, right?
I know it's bullshit.
You
I
get what
know
I'm
it's
saying?
bullshit. I
You get what I'm
I
saying?
know it's bullshit when it's
But
spoken. I
but
know
it's
it's
like
bullshit when it's there.
trying to
Like
get
one of the most condescending things I realized this woman told me, down south when them white chicks down there, and it's not against white folks. I got mad love for white folks, but it's she said this is how you can spot a racist white chick when they say, "Oh, bless your heart," kindly, and all this other. She's like, she said this was a woman from down south. She said that's the most bullshit thing you could ever hear a down south white chick say.
yeah.
I said she say that to you. She's saying it because she full of shit. She real fuck with you. She just being nice because the world changed. But like, yo, low key, I really don't fuck with you. And like she was breaking that shit down to me, and I'm like, I always thought that was just a polite thing, but she's like, no, not really.
Yeah. So exact. So I'm speaking.
It's a different meaning
Yeah,
behind
I'm speaking in general when I say these things, right? And it's scary. It's scary because like I've had great black, you know, Spanish, white, fucking Indian friends,
it. Mm-hmm.
and I have also same race, same friend, other people that I had horrible, horrific experience of, and me personally, it's scary. It's scary that, I might go to my own culture and they'll do some shit to me. It's scary that I might go to a black or white culture and they'll do some shit to me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Now you see
I,
how.
I just live. I just live my life.
Mhm.
I just live my life.
And see, that's why me and you click because you know how I am. When
Mm-hmm.
I see bullshit, I don't give a fuck about your skin color. If it's bullshit, it's bullshit. I speak on it
Mm-hmm.
100%. Because ain't shit perfect in any race.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Any race can be racist. Every race has its flaws. But the thing is, like what's going on today is just that flaws are being pointed out and people can't handle truth being spoken. If you ever notice, when the truth is spoken, all hell breaks loose.
Mm-hmm.
All hell breaks loose when the truth is trying to get spoken, it's trying to get covered up. Like, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, like we say with the media, what it pushes out, right? Okay, in Philadelphia, there's nothing but murder every fucking day. It's shooting every mother fucking day. Like, it's no end to it, right? So, the news is going to push that out heavy. But there is a lot of good stuff that is going on in certain black communities that are positive things that people are starting outreach programs. People are trying to get kids to be peaceful and
Yeah.
resolution and stop resorting to these guns and the violence. And there are organizations, there are people out there starting this shit trying to do that. But the media, the news does not highlight that shit as much as they should. They highlight the murder and the crime because that's what the views is the money.
Mm-hmm. Fear.
Money is tied to racism and evil at the same time. Yes, we need money to survive, but it's also tied. It comes with cons, and those are two cons that it comes with. There are more cons that come with money, but those are the ones that comes with. And like you, like yo, you've seen it. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of good things going on in Jersey that you've seen that's good. Like, well, damn, why didn't you put that on the news? Why didn't you tell
Mm-hmm.
people
Mm-hmm.
about this? Why didn't you tell me that? But they're so quick to say, oh yeah, they did this here, or this, that, and here, or like certain other areas will report Philadelphia. Like Philadelphia news is reported nationwide.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's not just locally Philadelphia. That shit everybody know about Philly. Internationally, Philly is known for killing. Okay, at the end of the day, Brazil knows about Philadelphia killing. I put money on that right now. I put money on that right now. They would say, "Yeah, man, Philadelphia, crazy. They kill crazy." I bet you 100%. Okay, we ain't gonna sit there in front like it ain't. Like so the thing is, like I said, the one thing is, like I said, the media pushes this negative narrative for everybody, and it targets minorities, blacks, Latinos, more than anything. You know what I'm saying? That's like with a murder, a black guy that goes on a killing spree. They're just gonna say, "Oh, he needs to die. He needs to be in jail," and da 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 da, right? Or if it was a Latino guy, more than likely the same thing. They're gonna say the same thing. But if
No,
it's a,
no,
if
they
it's a fuck,
probably say, let him mow my lawn
or
first,
or you
then
probably
go
get the
get him.
jokes like, yeah, or you probably get the jokes like, deport his ass back. See,
Mm-hmm.
keep the border back up. Y'all keep letting Latinos over. That's what they're gonna say. But when it comes to a Caucasian now, which has
Mm-hmm.
been proven, they're going to say, "Oh, he was mentally ill. What happened? What happened? And this, that, and third, and da 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 da." See, that's where people are getting pissed off at. Like black folks just want to be treated equally, just as Latinos. Like, look,
Listen, man,
if that man did the same crime I did, he's
we all getting treated like shit. You know, more equal. We can't get.
yeah.
Well,
So,
we want to be treated better. That's what the fuck we want. We
like,
all.
look, you know what I mean? Because like I look at it this way, I'm like, there's no way in hell that can be cool. That if a white dude's a mass school shooting, he comes out unharmed. He's mentally ill, but if a black kid did it, oh man,
It's
it's
predictable.
it's predictable.
It was only a matter of time.
And people, when you hear this, please don't get offended. But I know a lot of motherfuckers say this, so I'm repeating what this is what they say.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a black kid that did it, all the goddamn niggers need to be back in chains, and all the niggers don't know better, and all the
Mm-hmm.
niggas like real shit. That's what a lot of motherfuckers are saying about black folks. You know what I'm saying? Like we're automatically diminished the moment one bad thing's happen. That's like
Yeah.
in our group chat when we talk about anytime I mention Diddy. I hate that motherfucker. I hate that motherfucker. I never met him in person, but I hate the motherfucker. And I hate other individuals similar to us like and I hate and this is why I hate it. And I want people to hear this. If you're a black person in a position of power to help elevate your people, why would you fuck them over? Why give them a shitty deal knowing damn well you wouldn't sign that deal? They want to get out of the hood just like you. They want to make something better themselves just like you did. So why the
Desperation.
fuck are you gonna set them up to fail?
Desperation and ignorance.
Yeah. So my thing is at the end of the day, I tell any black person that's successful, it's your duty. I don't give a fuck what you say, whether you got a choice or not. It's your duty to help your people elevate. Stop being part of the issue that your people and yourself is still facing, no matter how you look at it. Put them in better position. I'm not saying give them a shitload of money. No, no. We all work for our money at the end of the day. Nothing was given to us, especially coming from the hood. Nothing was given to us. Motherfucker, please. I was supposed to be shot at the age 25. Okay. I made it to 25 without being shot. I was shot a year and a half ago, though. But like I made it to the age of 25 without being shot. Like me growing up in the hood, that was an actual statistic that if you made it past 25, you didn't get shot, motherfuckers will throw you a party. So if you're a black person in a position of power and you can help your people elevate them in a way by giving them certain tools and knowledge to help them alleviate, elevate to somewhere better, why not help them? Why do them dirty? Why do your own people dirty? You dig what I'm saying? That's why I can't stand Diddy. That's why I can't stand a lot of motherfuckers that are black that are in a position of power. And that's why people get mad at me when I say this. Like, I give you a good example. Charleston's wife, right? People hate that dude. People hate him with a fucking passion, right? But guess who hates him? Black folks hate him. Hood niggas hate him. But the thing is, he's telling the truth about y'all so-called policies, pointing out the stupidity and these policies that y'all supposed to follow and this, that, and third. He's pointing out all the wrongs. And y'all got an issue with that. If you ever notice when the truth is getting spoken, it's an uproar. It's always an uproar. Because if Charleston White was just talking bullshit, motherfuckers won't even know who he is, right? Yeah. No one wouldn't even acknowledge him.
That's very true.
You know what I'm saying? If what he's saying isn't triggering you, like if it didn't trigger you, into a stupid response of ignorance, and that says something about you. Because at the end of the day, you know, whether you don't like how he's going about it or whatever thing, at the end of the day, you know he's right about certain things. You know he's right by pointing out certain things. That's why I tell people, oh, he a snitch. I said, no, he no snitch. I said, the man done told the truth on so many situations and pointing out certain shit and flaws and everything else. I salute that shit because at the end of the day, it's the truth.
I remember, even if you're not even that, life of activity, like you're still gonna be a whistleblower. You're still gonna be something. You're gonna be so
You're
like
gonna be cast that something and this that. But let me tell you something. This dude I met, he did time and everything else. He's a cocaine devil. He turned his life around, working and everything, all that other shit. But he said, look, man, I did all this time. He said, the one thing I realized, he said, I can't say it for everybody, but majority of these motherfuckers out here, if you ain't never get caught by the feds, it's not because you weren't that good. He said it's because you cooperated. You cut a deal. You cut certain. You know what I mean. You put certain people under. This and third. And he said, and this is from a guy that was in that lifestyle. And he sat there and said, he said that's why I walked away from him because he said I realized all these motherfuckers that did this, that, third, and they were all the one cutting the deals and let a nigga sit and let a nigga did him dirty. So it's a whole thing. And those are flaws that that Charles White dude has pointed out. Like, yo, like y'all really follow this? Like it's an uproar. That's like when chicks bitch about Kevin Samuels, for example, right? Yo, some things he said, I was like, no, but majority, yeah, he's right. 100%. I said, have you seen what the chick says in his responses? But how they do it, the media only plays certain parts. No one ever watches the before, the middle, and the after.
No, they'll just watch. They just give you what you need to be hooked on.
They give you that triggering segment, and that's it. But if you actually watch the whole Kevin Samuels segment and you listen to what it said, like I was just watching one, and the shit had me rolling. The chick was like, well, I'm gonna get me a football athlete husband and shit, right? My resume. She said my resume and dick speak for herself. And then Kevin Samuels clearly pointed that shit out. So you have a resume of dicks. Like for a woman, like that's crazy to say that, right? Like hold on, you're telling me you got a resume of dicks. She's like, I can even get even guys like you I get. And he's like, you ain't gonna get me. But I said, he was like, what he pointed out to her, and a lot of people got mad when he said, I was reading the comments, people got mad when he said it. She said, you slept with all them athletes and you ain't never get a ring? Her comeback was, they got championship rings. She said
that's some more ignorant shit ever.
Right, yeah. And then he said, well, you was not, sorry to say it, you was nothing but a side piece. Females in the comments called him ignorant. I said, but that is the truth. Fucked all them athletes. You ain't even get a ring. You couldn't even keep the man. So that says a lot about you and yourself and who you think you could get in this and third. You know what I mean? And I'm like, he pointed that out, and a lot of females in the comments are mad about that shit. I'm like, how are you mad about the truth? You are nothing but a side piece. Like you could be dealing with a man for 10 years, and that nigga ain't never married you yet or nothing. Bitch, you ain't nothing but a side piece. He don't want to marry you. If a man want to marry you, he marry you. It wouldn't be no ifs, ands, or but about it. He will marry you.
Yeah, I'm into that. Listen, at the end of the day, like we just live your life to the best that you can. Live a good life. Live a life that you can enjoy and live without regrets. Anywhere you go, there's gonna be turmoil. there's going to be injustice.
Yeah.
You know, you do the
Yeah.
best that you can. Try to do, give some support here or there when you can. But at the end of the day, you got to live your life. Ain't nothing wrong about that, you know?
No, it's never nothing wrong about living your life. But I will say this: you see an injustice, speak on it,
Yeah.
march for it, petition for it. Don't go violent for it, but do things to
Do it the right way.
do it the right way. Help it get.
Don't
Do
be an
what you
angry
can.
motherfucker and
Yeah, do what you
and
can. 'Cause,
and
you know what I
burn
mean?
down the fucking stores and shit like that because you're just hurting the community.
Yeah, you hurt your own community when you do that.
You
Like
know,
I tell people like this: only way to truly save this world is acknowledging that you can't save the whole world.
mm.
That's like with being a hero. The only way to truly be a hero, a champion of the people, is to realize that you cannot save everybody. As much as you would love to, you cannot. And that's where the healing starts. And that's when the saving starts. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't realize that. See, a lot of people focus on try to save everything, everybody. But you have to acknowledge the fact that you cannot do that.
Mm.
But once you do that, you have a better understanding, and then you be able to help the most as you can without that stress. Oh man, I couldn't say this, I couldn't do that. Like, yeah, it's gonna bother everybody. Come on, bro. If I had the opportunity to save the whole world, you don't think I would do it? Yes, I would love to do that.
There's only so much you can do. You gotta
But
save
there's only
yourself
so much
first.
you can do. Right. So you do what you can. You have to do what you can. Live your best life. Keep that moral compass in a good position, not the bad position. And at the end of the day, we all the same. I don't give a fuck about your culture. I don't give a fuck about your race.
Mm.
We all the fucking same. We all human. We bleed the same. We breathe the same air. We walk. We jump. We talk. We blink. You know what I'm saying? Like, we function as human beings. So at the end of the day, when you acknowledge that, at the end of the day, in a non-weird way, we all are brothers and sisters, no matter how you look at it, no matter your race or whatsoever. We are not. No one is ever excluded. Because let me tell you something. One thing I learned, like with folks that I dealt with, this last thing I'll say, was in Wawa. I go to Wawa for my blueberry muffins because I love my blueberry muffins. I'm a fiend for some blueberry muffins. I'm in a Wawa, I get a blueberry muffin, them things fluffy. I know I should eat them all the time, but it's hard to resist. I got a sweet tooth for certain muffins. But this white dude ran to the black dude. White dude was like, he looked, because I'm assuming they didn't see each other a lot. And he looked, white dude smile just went straight like, he's like, my brother, how are you doing? These niggas gave each other the biggest hug in a Wawa, the biggest hug. And it was so beautiful. And I even said, yo, I like that shit. You dig what I'm saying? And they was like, yo, how's your wife? How's your wife? Yeah, man. She in the car right now. That's not. He waved out there window like, hey. And his wife was like, oh my God.
Beautiful.
Jump in, whatever. I forgot the person's name, but she was so hyped to see him. And I said, plain and simple, right there. And I said, that's all you need.
Yeah.
See, racist white folks hate shit like that. When they see white and black people getting along like that, loving each other like that, that was nothing but pure brother love. That man hugged that man like that was his brother, not like a friend. He loved him. He hugged him like, yo, like that's my brother. Like, you ever seen that video where they asked what's the dude named King Vine, about Lil Dirt? He's like, that's my brother. He's like, no, we may not got the same pop or mom, but that's my brother. Those words right there, what he said right there, was the same example that happened in that wild right there. And they show mad love to each other. And that's all you can ask for. You know what I'm saying?
That's all we need.
That's all we need.
That's all we need.
That's all we need, brother.
Nick, it's always an honor and pleasure talking to my brother. It's always words of wisdom and difficult conversation that can have a positive outcome.
Always gotta be able to have a difficult conversation in order to progress.
Boom. Before we go, tell the people where they can find you at.
You can find me at Nick Espinosa _215. You can follow Elvis Matos, EGM, the shop, EGM store. That's our clothing brand, clothing line, clothing
Pizza
business.
Boys.
Pizza Boys collection, Saboti collection, Baker Shop collection. We got a couple of joints. We're working on more stuff, so you definitely check it out. I'm pretty sure Dio will post the links in this episode at the bottom. Hashtag it. You'll see it. Click it. Check it out. Got men, women. We working on kids stuff now, so just be on the lookout.
Boom.
And shout out to my boy, fucking Jordan, aka Needle Wasted too. Mad
boom.
love.
Yes.
That's the boy right there too. Can't forget him. You know what I'm saying?
Boom. Make sure to follow me at Mr.DreamSpot.com. Go check out the website. Go check out this episode when it comes out. Go support Nick. Go support Elvis. Go support Jordan. Nick, it's been an honor, my brother. Have a good night, guys. I'm out.
Don't forget the wing stop.